What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, joined by about 4,000 of my friends in the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/Bengal. I've mentioned it a bunch of times over the course of this series, especially near the end, but I do pretty much stream every single offseason on Twitch. We do it live. I got a really fun show planned, so I'm excited about that. Twitch.tv/Bengal. I stream other things too, and I was really active on Twitter telling you guys when this was going to be. So twitter.com/Bengal, YouTube. All the links are in the description. And you know what's not in the description? Code BENGAL, which you can use on SeatGeek and save yourself $20 when you buy tickets for anything. Well, I don't know about like a school play or whatever, but everyone's been super excited for Lions franchise, myself included. The offseason is finally here. It was a rough season. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to change the sliders just because I wanted a good baseline of what it was going to be on a week-to-week basis. I'm not the best player in the game. I only play the game when you guys see me play the game. We all know I'm not a good player. We all know I'm going to make bad reads. It is what it is. Sometimes the game is legitimately unfair in some ways, but that's why I get so excited that you guys like to watch the series anyway, because we all know, or 90% of us know, it isn't about the gameplay. Because could I go out there and actually figure out what plays are really effective and how to, shift my line this way to get pressure or do so many different things on offense or defense to be really, really good against the CPU. That's not what it's about. I do ask Madden play calling to pretend like it's an offensive coordinator calling plays for the most part. I don't want to choose my play every time because what if I find a play that's really unfair and then I call it a billion times and then it's I'm scoring 60 points a game on a defense that just can't handle it. It's not fun to watch. It wouldn't be fun to watch me blow out a team 50-0. We will probably get there at some point in the franchise. It happens every year where we're way too good for the opponent we're playing, and that's when the series becomes unfun. So losing a lot at the start, that's part of the grind, and I'm super excited to go over this team. I'm looking at the team for the first time here. I did see that Jared Goff got star development. He put up some crazy numbers passing in terms of yards and touchdowns. The goofball was incredible. However, I threw I think probably 8 or 9 interceptions on the year. It's too many to count. Who could know the real number? So, yeah, dude. I get that the interceptions held him back a little bit. Maybe it was even double-digit interceptions if we want to be generous about it. But, yeah. He threw for a lot of yards and touchdowns. There's that. Tyrell Williams also had a pretty good year. One receiver of the year, actually. As a 30-year-old receiver, Tyrell Williams is someone that was on maybe the bubble of not being extended. If we see his contract here, he earned a contract extension. Big time. That happened in the last episode. Tyrell Williams deserved an extension. And got one. It's not a ton of money, but he certainly earned it with his play in 2021. I think everyone will agree on that. And the rookies were super, super good as well. Like Quintez Cephas and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I guess Quintez Cephas was a second-year player, but Amon-Ra St. Brown was super, super impressive. DeAndre Swift has superstar development. Didn't really play like it a lot of the time. He was injured a lot, even though he wasn't injured. The fatigue glitch really got him. He didn't play a lot, and when he did, the offensive line didn't block for him the same way that they did for Jamal Williams. I kind of don't get it. But now with Jared Goff, as much as his season was up and down in a lot of ways, he has star development out. He's 27 years old. He's near an 80 overall. Maybe there's a world where Jared Goff is our quarterback in the future. Maybe the goofball leads us to the promised land. Maybe the Lions were right about him when they went out and they traded for him with the idea of him being their quarterback, not just taking on, a bunch of extra draft picks, but actually having Jared Goff be the starting quarterback in the future. And with star development, there's a world where that makes sense. Defensively, Amani Oruwariye is up to superstar development. Amani Oruwariye led the NFL interceptions, won Defensive Back of the Year, and as a super young corner, just 26 years old, superstar development is incredibly huge for Amani Oruwariye to get. This is massive. We're going to play with those abilities at some point. We have an extra ability slot open as well, although we cannot currently equip anything. We will be able to at some point next season. Not really seeing a whole ton of other development changes. We know about Jeff Okudah with star, Nickel Roby-Coleman with star, Deshaun Hand, we earned star at some point last season, Romeo Aquara. Has he had star development? I believe he has. Tracy Walker, Jamie Collins, Alex Anzalone. This defense is not great. There is potential for the future, and we have a lot of picks. This was a big reason I wanted to do the Lions franchise, is because they traded for a ton of picks, and this is currently where we stand. We're picking 2nd overall in the draft. That is via the Las Vegas Raiders. We're picking at 4th overall in the draft. That is our pick. And we are picking at 16th overall in the 1st round. That is the Rams pick. We also pick at the top of the 2nd round twice with the Raiders pick as well, and our pick. If you guys remember, there was a huge trade that went down, including Trey Flowers. We got a lot of picks in return. 3 2nd rounders, 3 1st rounders, a pick at the top of the 3rd, no 4th, a pick at the top of the 5th, 6th, and the 30th pick in the 7th round. There are a bunch of good players. Available. Pat Strong is currently the #1 overall player in the class. And interesting thing about Pat Strong is a pretty good player. Starting left tackle for TCU, can really show that he can get out there in the 2nd level. Block linebackers, has the speed to do so, but is also pretty good in pass protection. Pat Strong's someone that we might look to pick up and, have him be our starting left tackle of the future. I do think, however, that the story of this draft class revolves around the quarterback position, as there are a lot of QBs projected to go very, very high in this draft. First, we have quarterback Lance Windsor out of Oregon. Of course, ended up starting over Ian Boss. Ian Boss, really, really highly touted recruit that just didn't end up getting the playing time due to Lance Windsor being just incredible. And it's tough to blame him, because when you have a quarterback that can sit back in the pocket, make all the throws, but also have the mobility, the ability to throw on the run and find open receivers, well, it's just a nightmare for opposing defenses. There's a reason that he is projected to be maybe the top pick in this draft, along with Pat Strong. Do they want to tackle? Do they want a quarterback? There are going to be a lot of different directions, and even a week ago, at #2 overall, there are some good players up for grabs, and Lance Windsor could end up being the guy. Has the arm, can do it all. But you could say that about a lot of different quarterbacks in this class. However, one in particular that does have some question marks, but has all the athleticism in the world, is quarterback out of Ohio State, Paul Garrison. Paul Garrison is a scrambler type first, where this guy, he can get out there, he can make some of the throws, he has a cannon. The accuracy, at least down the field, is a bit of a question. The wheels never have been. Get out of the pocket, showcase that effort, and really torch defenses who are dropping a bunch of players in the secondary down the field. He will kill you with his legs. But also, Levi Kerr, tight end out of Ohio State. This is someone that, even though we're set kind of at the tight end position, he was someone that played fairly well at Ohio State alongside Paul Garrison. So maybe Levi Kerr is someone that we look at to be our 2nd or maybe even 3rd tight end down the board. I think when you look at our current depth at tight end, it's TJ Hawkinson clearly at #1. That's very obvious. But we were running a lot of 2 tight end sets. And when you have someone like 36-year-old Darren Fells being your guy that you have to rely on, how long is that really going to be viable? Alizé Mack wasn't really too much of a playmaker for us. So we could look maybe to team up the Ohio State teammates in Paul Garrison and in tight end Kerr. So we have some options. Back to the quarterbacks, though. William Nugent, Max Klein, not particularly interested in. They're just not quite as good as some of the other guys that we've looked at. Chris Davis from Wisconsin. This guy can play a little bit. I tweeted out a picture of him earlier. This is someone who I think has a ton of potential. A+ throw power, A- throw accuracy short. With the B+ break sack at 6'5", 231. I mean, this is someone, big hands, big arm, looks good in shorts, someone that you like long-term as your future franchise signal caller. So Chris Davis out of Wisconsin, I would say probably not safe to sleep on this guy. Not safe to sleep on him. Maybe not the first guy you would have thought of to be the guy, but someone that we might want to take a look at. We have multiple first-round picks, and Chris Davis could be someone that we like. Now, he's already becoming a fan favorite in the chat. I've seen people tweeting at me, legitimately tweeting at me. Twitter.com/Bengal YouTube. You guys know the link in the chat. Already vying for Alex Soto, quarterback out of LSU. Tough shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. Trying to replace Joe Burrow at LSU, right? I think we all know that. Won a national championship. But you know what? He took his number. He took his number 9 and says, you know what? Anything you can do, I can do better. Except he didn't really. He's fallen down to the 3rd round here, but we still think the talent's there. Even if it wasn't totally on display for the Tigers last season, Soto's someone with a big-time arm and big-time accuracy. Just in a power run system, wasn't able to throw the ball quite as much as maybe you would have wanted. Hurt his numbers a little bit. But Alex Soto is someone that a lot of people in the chat want, a lot of people in the comments section want, and as the GM/head coach of the Detroit Lions, Gene Dangus, someone that I might want. Alex Soto could be someone that we look to target, and we might not even have to do it in the 1st round. I was looking at the draft class in the offseason. I said, what's going on here? I think Earl Goldberg also fell because Alex Soto was supposed to go 1st round. I think Goldberg was supposed to go 1st round as well, and they fell down the board. I was shocked to see Alex Soto here in the 3rd round, but here he is. Also, I mean, it's been no secret at running back that we really have lacked a run game. DeAndre Swift wasn't someone that was able to consistently get things going for us, but there are a couple good running backs available in this class. Roderick Briscoe out of UCF, Darren Pinkins we saw at Ohio State with quarterback Paul Garrison. But the 2 top backs, we have Zaire Carrington and we have Greg Lockhart. Lockhart out of Bama, you know, classic Alabama produces running backs. They have a million backs every year that are really, really, really good. But is Zaire Carrington number 1 ranked running back? Is he better than Greg Lockhart? Is he the guy we want to take? I mean, he looks like the best running back USC's had since Reggie Bush. 45-yard touchdown run there, fully on display. You can see the athleticism. You can see the elusiveness. You can see multiple broken tackles. We saw the A+ carrying attribute revealed. Zaire Carrington, someone that, I mean, clearly can make some plays. And if we're looking to improve our backfield, Zaire Carrington could be the guy. Now, conversely, running back out of Alabama, Greg Lockhart is a pretty good player as well. He's built a little bit differently. 6 foot 195. Carrington built a little stockier at 5'9", 201 pounds. But we don't know much about these athletes yet. The NFL Combine has not happened. The college football season just coming to a close. I'm not sure that Greg Lockhart is clearly our guy. Have him on the draft board, but Zaire Carrington as well. I mean, we know what he's capable of. We saw that. And our offense, while it was good, I think we really did lack some deep threats down the field. Tyrell Williams made some plays at times, but Rashad Reese is someone I really want to look at here, where Rashad Reese is someone that could potentially get down the field deep. We know he's a deep threat type. Don't know about that 40 time yet. And with the spectacular catch, this could be one of the best jump ball receivers in the entire class. So Rashad Reese, who we see going up against Florida State safety Derek Davidson, also in this draft class here. Rashad Reese is someone that might be worth taking a look at. Not a great receiver class overall, but Rashad Reese is someone with decent route running, both deep and short, and great spectacular catch for a 5'10 guy. Depending on what he runs, Rashad Reese is definitely going to be someone to look at. I think the big one right now is Derek Davidson. He's built strong. 6'1", 215 pounds, and he's a hybrid type. So he's got good man coverage right off the bat. Probably going to have decent zone coverage as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what his combine looks like. Currently don't have access to it. But if we check out the video here, if we run to the tape, Derek Davidson is someone that looks to have pretty good wheels over the top, can cover some ground, and with the hybrid type, we can have him manned up in the slot. We can have him taking receivers, taking tight ends, taking running backs out of the game, and still make some plays in the short game as well. You see Rashad Reese there trying to go up for the football, but Derek Davidson just not giving him an opportunity to make that play. Should be a really, really fun story to follow in the draft. Which one of those guys goes first? Both not expected to go in the first round, but have the talent to, have the ability to. So Derek Davidson might be able to help us out at safety, because as much as I like what Tracy Walker did in spurts, Tracy Walker is not necessarily our guy. Man, Jared Goff, what a season. 5,200 yards, 44 touchdowns. Also, other things probably. I don't know. Maybe. DeAndre Swift, 7 touchdowns, averaged only 3.1 yards per carry. What's particularly interesting about this is that Jamal Williams averaged 2 more yards per carry than DeAndre Swift. I get smaller sample size, but DeAndre Swift could just do nothing. The goofball, Vanilla Vic, merch link in description, was actually pretty good as a runner. Got about a first down every time he took off. And receiving, we saw what Tyrell Williams could do. How about this season from Amon-Ra St. Brown? 10 touchdowns, about 800 yards, averaging 13 plus per catch. DeAndre Swift was a willing receiver. Quintez Cephas was pretty good. I think you'd probably take Amon-Ra St. Brown's season over his just because of the touchdowns, but very close. And then TJ Hawkinson was our big safety blanket. Led the team in catches by a lot. Had 8 touchdowns, which was 3rd on the team. Blocking. I feel like our offensive line wasn't too much of an issue. Growing pains with rookie right tackle Penei Sewell. Led up the most sacks on our team. But overall, I feel like the unit was pretty good. And we have a good offensive line, so I'm glad they played pretty well. Taylor Decker's someone where I'm a little bit up in the air about him long term. And that's why we're looking at Pat Strong, the tackle out of TCU, as maybe being better than Taylor Decker. If not right now, but maybe. Certainly in the future. Defensively, Will Harris led the team in tackles. 110. Had 2 picks as well. Jamie Collins with 100-plus tackles. Tracy Walker with 100-plus. And anytime a corner has 90 tackles, it's not great. It's not great because that means you're probably allowing a lot of catches. However, only 6 catches allowed on the season for Mani Oruwariye. Jeff Okudah allowed 8. That was the most on the team. As you can see, the catches allowed numbers are a little bit weird in simulation. Tackles for loss, 19 for Jamie Collins, 15 for Romeo Okwara, 10 for Deshaun Hand, 7 for Jelani Tavai, who got cut in real life, by the way. Quarterback sacks, didn't really get any pressure on the quarterback. 8.5 for Romeo, 5.5 for Deshaun Hand, 4.5 for Julian Okwara. Literal brothers. Don't even have to make up that storyline. Literally true, which is cool. I'd like for my rookies to play better, like Levi Onwuzurike was injured a lot. Didn't really have a ton of opportunities to make plays, but 3 sacks is pretty good. Interceptions, Oruwariye had 7, of course. That's why he went up to superstar. And then Tracy Walker, 3 picks. It's not really all about interceptions, though. Some of these guys were just out of position consistently. Tracy Walker, he's okay. He's okay. Probably not a good long-term option. And Will Harris as well. He's similar to Tracy Walker in a lot of ways. Just probably not great long-term guys. Forced fumbles, Will Harris had 2. Jamie Collins had a couple as well. And then a few defensive touchdowns. Actually, many more than I thought. Anzalone, Tavai, Harris, Collins, and Tracy Walker all with 1. But it's a Super Bowl. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens here. It is Chiefs-Bucks. So a pretty unrealistic matchup for the Super Bowl. I think we'd all agree. No, obviously that's exactly the matchup that happened in real life. And Amani Oruwariye, what do we want here? I think I want to focus on, let's do zone coverage. Zone coverage is still pretty bad, but man coverage is going to get upgraded, more easily as it's his top archetype. So if we can get 90-90 for man and zone, we're going to be in a really good spot. So I'm comfortable with where we are there. I'm comfortable there. And we'll go ahead and simulate the week and see who wins the Super Bowl between Bucks and Chiefs. And it was the Chiefs in a blowout win. Completely opposite what happened in real life from a season ago. But Patrick Mahomes gets his revenge. KJ Wright, new pickup by the Chiefs, is your Super Bowl MVP. But Patrick Mahomes won MVP of the entire season. Kevin Stefanski with the Browns wins Coach of the Year. Mahomes, of course, takes home Offensive Player of the Year as well. J.J. Watt with the Cardinals wins Defensive Player of the Year, making a good first year in Arizona. And then Najee Harris wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. J.O.K. with the Browns, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Browns. You know, great stuff from them. Man, 47 picks for Jared Goff. Is that all? I wonder if that led the league. Look at touchdowns here. Patrick Mahomes, 52 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield is unbelievable. But Patrick Mahomes led the league in touchdowns by a lot. Tom Brady almost threw for 6,000 yards. Really, really good numbers. Nick Chubb led the league in rushing, although there were a number of backs pretty close. Derrick Henry, Zeke, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, who had 22 touchdowns. That was tied with Nick Chubb for the league. 18 for Saquon and Aaron Jones. Receiving, Mike Evans led the league in receiving yards. DeAndre Hopkins just 2 yards shy. They were the only receivers who even eclipsed 1,250 yards. Devontae Adams was close. Demarcus Robinson was close. Also had 11 touchdowns. Okay. But 14 TDs for Tyrell Williams led the league. Okay. Tyreek Hill with a good year. Adam Troutman with 12 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds with 12 touchdowns. Some of these names are a little surprising. 20 sacks for J.J. Watt. He is back in a big way. 16 for Khalil Mack, 15 for Shaq Barrett, 15 for Chandler Jones. What a combo J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones are. Aaron Donald with 14.5. And interceptions, Amani Oruwariye led the league, we know that. 6 for A.J. Boye, and J.O.K. with 6. Casey Hayward, and a number of other players with 5 as well. That's the way the season looked. And I think it's finally time to get into this offseason. Darren Fells has regressed. No. I only have the option to franchise tag them? Holy. Why? I don't know why. I guess we already failed re-signing them? Darren Fells is going to go, dude. He's 36 years old. He's down to a 68. Jack Fox, I mean, I'm not going to franchise tag a punter. We could end up re-signing him in free agency. I wouldn't be shocked by it. Zane Gonzalez is here. Tyrell Crosby's an interesting one. I had a lot of problems with his play. I really did. I just think he was a little bit slow. But there's something here. He's 26 years old. He's a 77 overall. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. Can we just, you know what? I don't know about this. This is kind of a weird one. I might look at other options. But having him as a backup would certainly be very good. Like, Jonah Jackson got killed every game by injuries. So for a 2-year deal worth a little over $12 million, I'd be happy to re-sign Tyrell Crosby, and he's back. It's important to have depth when injuries are a factor, and they are. Corn Elder, no. Khalif Raymond has good return value. He's 28 now. Maybe on like a 1-year deal worth nothing, I would sign him. Which is exactly what this is. Give him $950. And he's going to test free agency. Well, we're not going to miss you, probably. Just probably not. And I think we'll probably let everybody else walk. I mean, there's some value to Jamie Newman, but if we still have Jared Goff, I can't imagine I'm going to carry 3 quarterbacks if we do end up drafting one. But maybe for a cheap contract. Jamie Newman returns for 3 years. Pretty bad backup to have, and I just signed him for 3 years, but it's important to have depth. 14 mil to spend in free agency. Who is here? Okay. It's an interesting class. Von Miller's here. I'll be honest, we're in rebuild mode. Von Miller's not someone that's particularly interesting to me at 33 years old. He's just not. He's just not. He doesn't really fit the mold of what I'm trying to accomplish in Detroit. So Von Miller we can probably cross off the list. Chris Godwin would be quite a good one to have. Chris Godwin is 26 years old. He's not really asking for a ton, and he's a superstar development receiver that could really, really, really help us out. Even though we did re-sign Tyrell Williams, he's 30 years old. I'm very aware of that. It's important to have something else there. What else is available at receiver? Michael Gallup. Not quite on the level as Chris Godwin. Christian Kirk. Demarcus Robinson, who had a great year in real life. Or in this franchise. Not in real life. Not a great receiver class, but Chris Godwin is someone I'm super interested in. And the fact that the Seahawks are in the lead on him and not really offering him a ton, I would rather have Jamie Gillen. The flowing locks are pretty hard to ignore. And for me, when I'm like not capable of playing offense, having a great punting game, that can really help a team out. If we can get a defense. Jamie Gillen we're going to offer on. Currently don't have a kicker either. Of course, Tyler Bass, probably the best one here. I got to tell you, it's been a nice run. I appreciate everything you've done for the organization, but we're going to let you test free agency forever. He's going to be gone. I think that was important to do. It's just too much money. It still costs a ton to cut Jared Goff, so I think we're going to hold on to him for another year at least. Nickel Roby-Coleman is getting older. He's not that expensive, and he plays a pretty big role on the team. Jamal Williams is another one where I'm just not sure it's worth it to cut him. So we're going to hold on for now. Cutting Jamie Collins frees up a lot of cap room. A lot of cap room. Raheem Mostert's here. That's a lot of speed. 97 speed for Raheem Mostert. It's something to consider. Something to consider. Chris Godwin, we might try and offer him something. Some good tight ends here, really. Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett could be really, really good. Decent speed on him. 85 speed. Not the worst run blocker in the world. What about a 3-year deal for Gerald Everett to be a backup tight end? We're going to have to offer him a bigger contract than that. But that's really not a bad idea. We'll settle at that for right now. Like, I do want to improve the D-line, but at the same time, like, some of these guys are not it. You know who I am actually intrigued in, because he has no offers, is Anthony Walker Jr. I don't want to offer him a 3-year deal. But if we can get him for a steal because no one's particularly interested in him, like Anthony Walker could be pretty good. Okay, so it's been quite an eventful week. In free agency, we went out and we got a big-time punter. Jamie Gillen. This is... Okay, listen. This is going to go down in history. I need you guys to remember this moment. Really remember it. This right here, signing Jamie Gillen, the turning point in the franchise. Jamie Gillen is going to lead the Lions to the Super Bowl on the back of Gene Dangus. Anthony Walker Jr., Chris Godwin also accept. And just like that, our team improves a decent amount as well. Chris Godwin is pretty unbelievably good. 6'1", 26 years old. Really, really solid route runner with good speed. And he is very clearly the best player on this offense, and it's not remotely close. Quintez Cephas, Amon-Ra St. Brown still could feature. You got to remember that Tyrell Williams is not going to be around forever at 30 years old. It's probably close to the beginning of the end for him, but still good for right now. And then Quintez Cephas, Amon-Ra St. Brown. While they did have decent seasons, it's going to be really, really interesting to see the battle between those two for who gets the most playing time. Very similar numbers. Quintez Cephas, at least to me, felt more consistent, but if you really look at it, he had a 3-touchdown game, and then what else did he do? Amon-Ra St. Brown really started heating up down the stretch, finished the season with 10 touchdowns. He went off, but he's not the fastest. He is extremely limited with 86 speed. We got Tyler Bass. That's another really, really big addition to our team. It's a long-term deal. I want to say it's... Well, we'll check out the details. I don't want to speculate. But it is a long-term deal. Locking up a 25-year-old kicker. 97 kick power. The accuracy will only continue to improve. Tyler Bass is under contract for the next 5 seasons at under $3 million per year for every year. So that's fantastic. We've got a great special teams duo. And you know what? That's the third element of the game. It's going to help you win games right there. Receiver becomes a little bit less huge now. We're going to look at tight end. Spencer Bryant. 4'5" at 6'5", 21 years old. Pretty good top skills. Spencer Bryant. Big weapon of Alex Soto at LSU this past season. That could be an interesting thing to watch out for. Tested pretty well. Boosted his draft stock. Chris Davis. Not the fastest either. Still relying on the big-time arm. But Paul Garrison's going to be the interesting one at Ohio State. Scrambler type. We saw what he could do. He ran 4.63, which was the fastest of all quarterbacks. Pretty good time. Nothing insane, but pretty good time. We know he has the cannon. And then Lance Windsor. Early first-round quarterback. Tested pretty well. Ran 4.76. Probably the most well-rounded. We know he has the accuracy. Lance Windsor is someone to look out for. I mean, we already knew that, considering he was the second player in the draft. But Lance Windsor, with a strong offseason showing so far, is interesting. Zaire Carrington is okay. Greg Lockhart ran 4.42. Not bad from Greg. Not bad from Greg. It's interesting. 4.31 for Roderick Briscoe. That is blistering speed. Okay. Rashad Reese ran 4.37. Best in the class. We already saw what he's capable of. That's really interesting. Receiver's not the biggest of need for us after getting Chris Godwin, but it's certainly something to look out for. How'd Levi Kerr run? 4.86. Brutal. Pat Strong, not the strongest, ironically. 31 reps, 28th among all left tackles. Is very fast. We saw that on tape earlier. Not the strongest, though. Jacoby Carr is also someone I had my eye on. Doesn't really fit the team so well, but running 4.73 at 300 pounds is ridiculous. So it's another one that we're going to want to keep our eye on him. Dorian Thompkins, 4.77, 40, 43 reps of 225. Amazing 3-cone. Dorian Thompkins. Okay. Dorian Thompkins is looking like a crazy athletic freak. Now, I guess that should have been apparent to me when we watched him move. Lighting up Alex Soto. This guy can get after it, right? But I didn't know he was going to test near that well. That's a little insane from Dorian Thompkins. You know, what's interesting is that another standout on that Ohio State defensive line in Juan Harris, he was really the guy that I expected to show out, do really, really well. And at 6'6", 275, he's tested really, really well. But Dorian Thompkins might just be on another level. 6'6", 301. And Juan Harris... Juan Harris is a pretty freak athlete as well. See him getting after Soto in the same game here. He can get after it. He can get after it. Big, strong, fast. Juan Harris is a freak athlete. But is he even on the same level as Dorian Thompkins on the same defensive line? I'm not sure that he is. I'm not sure that he is. And he was a dominant player at Ohio State. The A power moves is no joke. Fully on display all the time. But Dorian Thompkins, and we have good defensive linemen of the future potentially. But again, I didn't expect Dorian Thompkins to look anything like this. Crazy fast, crazy big, crazy strong, freak athlete. I mean, something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. And we're looking at middle linebacker as well. Like Andrew Mooney, someone I had my eye on. He ran 4.47. It was the second time. It really showed up consistently at NC State. Andrew Mooney making plays all over the field. We see him against Paul Windsor's Oregon. Andrew Mooney is a guy that can go sideline to sideline, and that 4.47 40 is on full display. You know, maybe he thought it was a little bit of in-game awareness, just play rec, knowing where the football is going to be, knowing to make these plays. But Andrew Mooney's someone where he's got the athletic testing to back up what you saw on the tape. Oh my God. Derek Gaines out of Notre Dame ran 4.36. He's a little bit light for a linebacker in general, 6'1", 225. But he ran 4.36. Jeez. Holy cow. Another guy we had our eye on was Russ Clemons. He was someone we talked about comparing him to DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence probably tested fairly similarly. Early first round from him. Not bad. Oh, huge signing. Ian Thomas. We get a backup tight end. Just because we didn't have anyone there. Ian Thomas isn't so bad. He's not particularly good. We could do with a better run blocking tight end. Maybe something to look out for. It's not the biggest of needs really, but it's something to consider. But here's what we're waiting for. Here's what we're waiting for. It's the NFL draft. We've got essentially no money, but we have heart. Ronnie Harrison to the Vikings. One of the top free agent safeties headed to Minnesota. One of the big ones. I mean, I think we got the story of the NFC North bringing in Chris Godwin. Mike Hughes goes from the Vikings to the Bears. Well, previously on the Vikings. I think he's on... Did the Texans trade for him? Will Hernandez went to Minnesota. They're going to improve their offensive line. It is time. The 2022 NFL Draft, Washington football team on the clock at number 1. We've seen the draft board. Will it be Pat Strong or will it be Lance Windsor? Maybe even Paul Garrison sneaks in, goes number 1 overall. Washington football team could use a quarterback. Who is the first pick going to be? It is Pat Strong. They go with the tackle out of TCU. He's a 76 overall. And now at number 2 overall. The world is our oyster. Many good quarterbacks available. Lance Windsor. We know he's got the cannon of an arm. He's got great throw accuracies. He ran well. 4.76. Not terrible. Not terrible. Lance Windsor can sling it a little bit. We've seen Paul Garrison, the best scrambling quarterback in the class. Although not blistering speed. Probably mid to high 80s for Paul Garrison. Just 21 years old. Lance Windsor is a year older. A year wiser, maybe. Still go to school. Chris Davis is 22. Ian Boss is someone who I really didn't consider a ton. But decent. And then Alex Soto is 23, the oldest quarterback of the bunch. This is a tough decision to decide what to do here at number 2. It really is. I've got an idea. What we could do, right, is 2012 Washington and take a QB at number 2 and follow that back up with Kirk Cousins later. The thing is, I get that Lance Windsor is the higher overall. Like, I get, like, we all know, as much as I could, like, pretend not to know for the sake of the, like, immersion and the realism, we know Lance Windsor is the higher overall right now. We know he is. Early first round. We know he's the higher overall. Paul Garrison, we know, is close. He's a mid-first rounder as opposed to an early first rounder. He's a little faster. The accuracy probably overall not going to be that good in comparison, but he does have a throw accuracy short. I think with Lance Windsor, we do have a player who's very comparable to Jared Goff. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take Paul Garrison, number 2 overall. Welcome to Detroit, Paul Garrison. We knew he'd be a slightly lower overall than Lance Windsor out of Oregon, but Paul Garrison was going to be the guy. Star or better development. We may have just found our quarterback of the future. 92 throw power, 78 deep, 80 medium, 86 short accuracy. Good throw on the run, which is what we were looking for. 83 throw on the run, 79 under pressure with 85 break sack, and he has 83 speed as well. Not tremendous speed, but not bad speed as well. 4.63, you know, we knew it wasn't going to be blazing, but I think this was the right call, because if we are going to take a quarterback later, might as well draft the one who is most unlike Jared Goff right now. We go flashback to Garrison at Ohio State. We knew about the running ability. It doesn't look like otherworldly speed, but it looks pretty good. We know he has the arm as well. He's got the A+ throw power, ended up being 92 throw power, and the accuracy really isn't too bad, especially short at 86 throw accuracy short. We talked about him leaning on the tight end Kerr a little bit earlier. And it's going to be interesting to see how he develops as a passer down the field for the Detroit Lions. Keeping him fairly close. His trip up from Columbus to Detroit is not going to be a long one. But Paul Garrison will have a chance. Will have a chance to be our quarterback of the future. Jets at number 3. Go with Lance Windsor. He is 1 overall point higher, which we knew he would be. Only 1 overall point is interesting. Only a 76 overall. Lance Windsor going to compete with Zach Wilson for that QB1 job with the Jets. Pretty bad. Philly is going to move up 1 spot here and give us a 3rd round pick next year, projected number 69 overall. I think that's going to be the move. This is easily the best offer. We're getting a 3rd round pick next year for free, and we are moving down 1 spot. And Philly has taken a quarterback. Ugh, yikes. William Nugent. Wasn't on our radar, which, you know, is bad news. William Nugent goes to Philly. Maybe they found their quarterback of the future. We're going to see what else is available at this spot. Houston offering their pick next year and a 3rd this year. Tell you what, I might negotiate with the Texans. I don't want their 1st rounder next year, per se. I want their 1st rounder this year, where we can reevaluate the board. So that trade is accepted. We are moving down from number 5 to number 11. And trading a 5 this year and next year to get a 2nd round pick next year. So basically, pick swap in the 1st round, and then moving up from a 5th round pick to a 2nd round pick is kind of the easy way to think about that. We're moving down a few spots, number 11. It's not really too bad. I'd be interested to see if the Steelers take a quarterback here. And they do. Max Klein out of NC State, 73 overall. Falcons on the board at number 6. They go with Jawan Vernon out of Oklahoma, 72 overall. Jawan Vernon is someone that we saw play a little bit at Oklahoma. He's got the ability to get to the quarterback. The problem with him is actually finishing the play. The Falcons do potentially make an upgrade on defense, but he's going to have to get a lot better at tackling if he's going to live out and see his value improve over time. Definitely explosive off the ball, but is he going to be able to finish when he gets to the quarterback? Kind of the big question with Jawan Vernon. And the Giants are on the clock at number 7. The Giants take Chris Davis, quarterback out of Wisconsin. Danny Dimes has officially been replaced. At least going to be a competition for QB1 now. Another player we looked at quite a bit was Wisconsin quarterback Chris Davis. We know he can make all the throws, and he is the second highest graded quarterback in this draft. Paul Garrison, 75 overall, of course, the player we took at number 2 overall. And Lance Windsor, currently in the lead for highest rated QB, 76 overall out of the University of Oregon. Davis has a bit of a hose, though. Probably contributes to that 75 overall. And the Chargers are on the clock at number 8. They go with Juan Harris, the defensive end out of Ohio State. We saw him a little bit earlier. We know he can make some plays. But based off of at least what we saw in the combine with the physical testing, someone that showed up a ton was his teammate on the same defensive line. Take a look at Juan Harris here. Clearly somebody that can make some plays. Alex Soto, not the fastest quarterback in the world. Juan Harris made his life a living hell. Certainly big, fast, strong. And most offensive lines are no match. Quarterbacks can't get away from him. Juan Harris is just too much of a freak athlete. And the Chargers improve their defensive line big time. And that puts the Bears in our same division on the clock at number 9. And the Chicago Bears take Caleb Warner, a tackle out of Florida, 70 overall, probably not going to improve their team all that much. And Bobby Sherrills is your first cornerback off the board. The Texans look to improve that secondary, and based on 74 overall, Bobby Sherrills, depending on his development trait, probably not the best one in the world. We saw him pick off our number 2 overall pick here, or at least make a play on the football. Garrison lobbed it up there into traffic, and Bobby Sherrills actually didn't come away with the interception. Maybe he thought he did, as he falls on the football. But Bobby Sherrills is your first CB off the board. And I almost skipped our pick. That would have been a disaster. That would have been so bad. And here we are at number 11. Russ Clemons is here. Russ Clemons is available. Early first round edge rusher out of Boise State. Not the biggest freak athlete in the world. Like what he's capable of. Russ Clemons can make some plays. Maybe even drop him back into coverage, play off ball. Perfect fit for a 3-4. But our defense is always kind of in a weird intermediary between playing a 4-3 and a 3-4. We never know exactly what's going on. It's a multiple front. But Russ Clemons could really fit into that. Where even though Trey Flowers wasn't particularly productive in that same system, maybe Russ Clemons could be. Russ Clemons probably at least worth considering at this point. Although we do have the Okwara brothers. Is Russ Clemons a huge upgrade? Maybe, maybe not. See a little bit further down the board, Greg Lockhart, a running back that can certainly fly a little bit. Dorian Thompkins as well. Actually, let's do this one with the Patriots. We're getting a 3rd round pick this year. That's a little bit more valuable because it's a pick this year as opposed to next year. And the Patriots are on the clock at number 11. They go Fadarian Keenan, a defensive end out of Louisville. Philadelphia at 12 takes Patrick Weeks. They go with the tackle out of South Carolina. And the Broncos at 13 take Derek Barton, a D tackle out of Miami. So right before our pick, a D tackle goes. And that's interesting because at number 14 overall, I am going to take a D tackle. His name is Dorian Thompkins out of Ohio State. I didn't go into this draft thinking I was going to take a D tackle, but here Dorian Thompkins is 6'6", 301 pounds out of the Ohio State University and tested not like a defensive tackle in some ways. His 3-cone, ridiculous, 7.45 for someone that's 301 pounds and 6'6". Ran 4.77. Put up 43 reps of 225. But Dorian Thompkins doesn't move like someone that can put up 43 reps. Ridiculously fast, ridiculously strong. Dorian Thompkins is the pick. He is a 78 overall. Number 5 in the class, took him at 14. Only normal development. But he has 95 strength, 78 block shed, 77 power moves, 78 speed, 83 tackle, 84 acceleration. He's got 78 everything. Normal development is obviously a little bit disappointing, but he is the best defensive lineman on our team actively. And also, number 5 player in the class at 78 overall. I'm starting to think this draft class is ridiculously loaded. Packers at number 15 go with James Pitts, the second Wisconsin player off the board here in the first round. James Pitts is someone at Wisconsin that was a bit of a playmaker. Check him out here against TCU. That's Pat Strong. That's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And James Pitts is just going right by him. Making big-time plays, getting after the quarterback, getting froze in midair. And even on that play, James Pitts doesn't finish, but he's staying in Wisconsin. Going from Madison up to Green Bay. Gets into the backfield early there, and Pat Strong gonna really unfortunately allow the sack. But James Pitts is someone that is staying home in Wisconsin. Who knows what type of role that's going to play. But certainly a very, very good pickup for the Green Bay Packers. 74 overall defensive end. And here we are, back on the board at number 16 overall. Russ Clemons is still here. Yeah, I think at number 16 overall, it has to be done. Russ Clemons not only fits the scheme perfectly, we know he's a pretty good player, and we know he's going to help us out a lot. At number 16 overall, the Detroit Lions select outside linebacker Russ Clemons from Boise State. He is number 6 in the draft. We took him at number 16. Star or better development for Russ Clemons. He's got 79 tackle, 82 hit power, 81 speed, 91 acceleration, 81 pursuit, 82 power moves to go along with 72 finesse moves, block shedding, and play rec. Pretty good agility for a big man as well. And he's going to fit the scheme perfectly. And as fun as the tandem is between Julian Okwara and Romeo Okwara, Russ Clemons is just a little bit too good. Russ Clemons is just a little bit too good to pass up on. Couldn't do it. I mean, we saw how good he was at Boise State. We saw his ability in space. And he can make some big-time hits. Do not run into Russ Clemons. But you can also get after the quarterback. And this is why we were so eager to take a player like this. Offers a ton of versatility. Really, really fits the defense. And he could be the player for us that Trey Flowers never really blossomed into. So when you talk about upgrading the defense, Russ Clemons really upgrades the defense. Cardinals take Cardale Holloway out of Oklahoma. Ray Burney, first linebacker off the board. Inside linebacker goes to Philadelphia. The Titans take Eric Skukanich? That sounds a little bit better. Jaguars go Rico McMullen out of Louisville. Dolphins go Robert Ferrara out of Michigan State. Alonzo Walton, second corner off the board, goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Alonzo Walton was someone that we checked out when we were looking at Oklahoma. Alonzo Walton, certainly capable of making plays. Here against USC, making a big-time interception with a pretty good return as well. And the Bengals look to improve that secondary with a big-time potential turnover forcing machine in Alonzo Walton. Big-time upgrade for them. Second cornerback is off the board. Headed to Cincy. Cowboys at number 23. Take Alan Cox out of Georgia. It's a Cole Beasley replacement. Saints take quarterback Ian Boss. Okay. 74 overall. One of the higher overall QBs in this class. Only -2 to his teammate that played over him at Oregon and Lance Windsor. Ian Boss off the board. Greg Lockhart is headed to Minnesota. He is someone that we looked at, that we really considered taking. And now, we're going to see him twice a year as, I guess, Dalvin Cook is going to split carries. Oh my goodness. Greg Lockhart, running back out of Alabama, is headed to the Vikings. Dalvin Cook wasn't good enough for him. They even got a great backup in Alexander Madison, but they think they need even more help at running back. And they go running back in round 1, Greg Lockhart. Vikings probably thought there was a good chance at the Bills. With the next pick, we're going to take him. And they jump on Greg Lockhart. And, I mean, they're going to have so many different running backs to feed. First round back to the Vikings. Kind of shocked about this, but Lockhart's a big-time playmaker. Bills at number 26. They go with Joe Bryson, second Louisville player to go here in the first round. Big D tackle. The Ravens go Marcus Wagner. Get a tackle to replace Orlando Brown Jr. Steve Matthews, another good D tackle, goes in the first round. This one out of Georgia. We're in a good spot right now. I know a lot of guys want Derek Gaines. Really, really fast. I'd probably lean Andrew Mooney, to be honest. Like, 4.36 speed is ridiculous. But, no. But Andrew Mooney, I think, is probably a more complete player. Dustin Bean out of USC goes to the Panthers. The Browns take Derek Gaines. The 4.36 speed LB. More of like a hybrid safety in a lot of ways, to be honest. Headed to the Browns. They seem to like that player type. Got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and now they pretty much have a clone in Derek Gaines. He goes at number 30. Tampa Bay Bucks at 31 go Cameron Burgess. First receiver off the board. Goes all the way at 31, and now the Super Bowl champion. Kansas City Chiefs, with the last pick of the first round, take Malik Oliver. They go with a running back out of Iowa State. Offense, offense, offense in Kansas City. And now the second round will begin. First pick of the second round is Andrew Mooney. Washington football team takes the player that we were probably going to take with the second pick in the second round. Mooney is gone. We know he's a playmaking machine. Was so good for the NC State Wolfpack. And now Mooney headed to a team rumored to become the new Wolfpack and potentially the Red Wolves. Andrew Mooney to Washington football team. 76 overall middle linebacker. And it was offense, offense, offense for Kansas City. Well, it's defense, defense, defense for Washington football team. And here we are at number 2. Some really good players available. I know a lot of guys vying for Rashad Reese here at number 2. And he's good. He's definitely good. I'm not sure that receivers are biggest need, although he does something that no one else on our team really does right now, which is get deep and in a hurry. 4.37 speed. You know what? I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to take Rashad Reese here. receiver out of Iowa. He brings something to the table that the current receiving room just doesn't have, and that's being a big-time deep threat. He's a 75 overall, ranked number 18 in the class. Took him at 34. He's got 94 speed, 90 acceleration, 79 catching, 78 catching traffic, 80 short route running, 74 medium, 81 deep. Also has 86 spectacular catch and 75 release. Good agility, 95 change of direction for Rashad Reese. 85 spin move. We might have found a returner. This is a Khalif Raymond replacement on steroids. And Rashad Reese is someone we looked at quite a bit in the pre-draft process. And he's going to be someone that can make a ton of plays for us. Saw him, of course, ball out for the Hawkeyes. And now, headed over to Detroit, Michigan. He is our first pick of the second round. Rashad Reese, receiver out of Iowa. Seahawks take Matt Barclay, a 76 overall corner out of West Virginia. Not even someone I really looked at. But they get a big-time playmaker, it seems like. We know Seattle loves to take defense. And here we are at number 4 in the second round. We're going to take this pick, and we're going to use it to select Derek Davidson. The 6'1", 215-pound hybrid safety out of Florida State tested extremely well. Ran 4.45, the best vertical in the safety class. Arguably the most agile in the safety class. Second 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. That, of course, you know, a lot of speed in there as well. We're going Derek Davidson. He is a 78 overall and the number 3 player in the entire class. Star or better development for Derek Davidson. And this was certainly a good pickup for us. Derek Davidson, 91 speed, 73 zone coverage, 75 tackle, 77 man coverage. Block shedding is extremely high for a safety at 61. He's got 74 hit power. He can bring it a little bit. And Derek Davidson, of course, in that same game where we were just watching Rashad Reese, well, 2 picks later, we take the guy that was responsible for covering him a lot of the time over the top, and that's Derek Davidson. The athleticism constantly on full display. That was never a surprise. Running 4.45 pretty well. Also has some pretty good ball skills. This is a safety that can do it all. Derek Davidson, certainly a big-time playmaker, and it's excellent value in the second round. Probably a player that could have and should have gone in the first round very easily. He falls, and he's taken swiftly by us at the top of the second. Derek Davidson, very happy about this one. We knew he'd be able to make some big-time plays, and he's going to easily compete to start at strong or free safety immediately, and maybe even slot corner as well. Taekwon Dunbar we have watched. He's really just a bruiser. Also ran 4.45. Taekwon Dunbar is actually pretty intriguing out of UW. Kobe Carr goes. He's a 75 overall. Falcons on the clock go Tyrell Witherspoon. Again, a lot of great Louisville players in this class. Malcolm Lowry goes to the Giants. Nate Hodges is a safety to the Chargers. The Bears take the first terrible player in the class, and that's Jamal McMillan, 66 overall safety out of Oklahoma State. He is 12 overall lower than the safety we took just about 5 picks ago. Stephon Davis, guard, goes to the Texans out of Miami. Sean Edison, 67 overall right tackle, the Steelers. Colts go Darren Pinkins, the running back with blistering speed out of Ohio State. Someone we thought about. Earl Goldberg, 65 overall quarterback, goes to the Broncos. Probably doesn't help solve their quarterback situation. There goes the tight end that we were looking at. Teammate of Alex Soto at LSU and Spencer Bryant. So the Packers, very interesting draft for them so far. Rams go with Roderick Briscoe, 4.31 speed out of UCF. Cardinals Take Levi Turk, a 68 overall corner out of Northwestern. There goes Zaire Carrington. Looked at him earlier. Jaguars get another running back. And Zaire Carrington is someone that, you know, we thought about him. At the end of the day, only a 74 overall. And while he has some great elusiveness, some great ability to just make people miss, get in the end zone, we were not going to move up for him. It just was never going to happen. And the Jaguars, who have James Robinson and Travis Etienne, and Laviska Shenault's basically a running back for them at some points, they take yet another running back in Zaire Carrington. Good for them. Ravens go Dexter Irvin, probably someone I would have targeted at number 29 overall here in the second round. 73 overall middle linebacker. It'll be interesting to see what his development trade is, if he has star or better. Because he was someone I wanted to at least think about. And there Steve Cruz goes. Tackle out of Texas. Seahawks finally investing in O-line. And here we are on the clock. There's something about Taekwon Dunbar, man. Like, he's just a really interesting Madden player, right? Where he's got crazy hit power, crazy speed, but probably isn't going to be all that good. Ramon Fuller. He's just like a worse version of linebacker that just went. I think based on the current board, the pick is pretty obvious. We're going to make it a competition. Alex Soto is going to be our last pick of round 2. Could be as good as any quarterback in the class. And we're going to take him at the back end of the second. He is an 80 overall. Alex Soto is worth the hype. 80 overall quarterback. Star or better development. Alex Soto could be the real deal. 93 throw power. 85 deep accuracy. 85 medium accuracy. 82 short. Throw on the run isn't anything crazy. Under pressure, it's pretty good. 81 break sack, and he has 70 speed. He's not fast. He is a pocket passer, but you know what? He's a damn good one. He's going to be more accurate than Jared Goff right away. Alex Soto, despite not being the fastest quarterback in the world, I mean, he can sling it. He can sling it. And there's a reason we wanted to go QB here late in the second round. Alex Soto was just simply too good to pass up on. He was someone that pre-draft we had our eye on. He was someone that could have gone in the first round. Ended up being projected to go in the third. And he must be playing the slowest team on the planet in order to make this play happen. But it's against Ohio State, and they got some athletes. But Alex Soto, I mean, we're not drafting him for the legs. We're drafting him for the arm. He took Joe Burrow's number at LSU. And even though he didn't necessarily fill his shoes, maybe would have been drafted a lot higher, Alex Soto might have a higher ceiling than Joe Burrow. Might be a better overall than Joe Burrow right now. It's going to be an interesting conversation in camp to see what quarterback we go with. Alex Soto or Paul Garrison. It's going to be an interesting conversation. There goes Taekwon Dunbar. The Browns, dude. Just stop. We are going to take the guard, Darren Fox. Not to be confused with De'Aaron Fox. This one's Darren, if you couldn't tell from his complexion. Pretty good wheels. Not weak. Pretty agile. I think there's a chance he could compete to start at guard, depending on what he looks like. Darren Fox is a 71 overall. Normal development, number 51. We took him at 68. Not much of a run blocker, but does have good speed at 73, which is what we wanted with this pick. The normal dev is expected. I feel like if his run block and lead block were in the 70s, we would have a stud here. They're a little low. It's a pretty good deal from the Ravens. We get a third rounder next year and their third rounder this year. I'm going to make that happen all day. And that running back's still available. I'm going to take Solomon Clifford here. I like the way he looks as a goal line back. So, had to be done. Ranked number 70, took him at 91. Normal development. He has 89 speed, which is like what DeAndre Swift has. 82 break tackle. 87 agility is not bad. 85 trucking. 85 stiff arm. I mean, this is a goal line back. He's got fight for yards. He's 6 foot, 235. We didn't draft a running back. We drafted a tank. Solomon Clifford. Good luck bringing him down. Carl Cavan out of Washington. Don't really know much about him, but he's good tight end depth. Hopefully he hasn't sucked too bad. It's a bit of a reach, 30 spots. Probably wasn't a player that should have been drafted in the 6th. It should have been a 7th, but at that point, like, who cares? Can't run block. Decently fast. Let's go Paul Green. Get me a good blocking fullback out there. Ranked number 97. Took him at 222. 69 overall. Nice. Paul Green. He's got 72 speed, but guess what? He can get out there and block, which is what we're looking for. Hell yeah, dude. Paul Green. We're number 13 at fullback. That's a little unusual. And that, as we see Mr. Irrelevant, will be the end of the draft. Draft recap. We'll check out the league first, and then we'll go to our team. We had a great draft. Alex Soto was the #1 overall player in the draft. We got him at the end of the 2nd round. Never seen anything like this before. Is super happy to get it done. He's slow, but he should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. Juan Harris went at number 8 overall. Normal development on Juan Harris. Does have 89 power, moves to go with 84 speed. Clearly a monster. Clearly really, really good. But does have that normal development. Derek Davidson, the number 3 overall player in the class. We're going to change faces, numbers, all that. Equipment, don't worry. But Derek Davidson, certainly very good. Has the big hitter trait and high motor. Aggressive play ball. Derek Davidson's going to be a really, really fun player to watch. He seems like a real character. Spontaneous personality type as well. Dorian Thompkins, we know, is normal development. We did very well. So we, right now, the #1, number 3, tied for number 3 overall player in the class. Greg Lockhart does have hidden development. We'll check it out. Like, I am curious. We'll see now, you know, what we missed out on. Star Dev. I'm not going to check my rookies, by the way. I feel like that ruins the fun a little bit. But interesting. Then there's Russ Clemons. Pat Strong. Pat Strong only has normal dev. I feel like there were a lot of normal development players in this class. Lance Windsor has hidden. What is Lance Windsor's development trait? Show me star, and it's going to be Superstar X Factor. It is Superstar for Lance Windsor. So we passed up on a Superstar Dev QB. I'm sure I won't be able to forget that. Roderick Briscoe, normal dev, has 94 speed. Matt Barclay. Wasn't really like a crazy stacked CB class. This is the one I'm a little bit afraid about. Andrew Mooney, 76 overall, does have hidden development. 90 speed, dude. Not the best in space cover-wise, but 90 speed is ridiculous. Please have star so I don't hate my life forever. Andrew Mooney has star. Okay. I can at least live with that. We obviously missed out on a really good player, but I can at least live with that. Chris Davis, star dev or higher for the New York Giants. Chris Davis has star as well. Rashad Reese we drafted. We looked at Jacoby Carr. Somebody in the chat was obsessed with Jacoby Carr. He does have star, better development. So maybe you were onto something. And that development trait is star. Taekwon Dunbar. Taekwon Dunbar, who I just had a feeling about, does have star, better development. 91 speed, 69 zone, nice. 83 hit power. Yeah, another fun player. He would have been fun. He would have been fun. He has stubby little arms for some reason. What is his dev trait? I mean, I would be shocked if it's anything higher than star. He has superstar. Oh, I wish I got Taekwon Dunbar now. Oh, that would have been sick. Derek Gaines Has 93 speed at middle linebacker. Oh my goodness. What is his depth trait? What is his depth trait? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh no. Superstar. They drafted 2 superstars. They got another. They got a hidden development right guard. Who's this? What's your depth trait? I can only imagine if that was superstar development, dude. Freaking Ralph. Dude, the Browns had a sick draft. Like, they're not the highest overalls. We don't know what our guys are going to be either. Like, let's be real. It's probably going to be a lot of stars for the hidden depth trait, guys. It's just, it's so rare to get a superstar. And the Browns got 2 superstars. I feel like... Okay, great. I feel like a lot of the time in the draft that the higher overall players usually have star dev. Usually. So you're sacrificing the potential higher development trait for a higher overall at that time, which I'm comfortable doing for the most part when it makes sense. Like, am I mad that I got Derek Davidson, who's a 78 overall safety with star or better development? Or a 72 overall safety who isn't as good, maybe will never be as good, but does have superstar dev. It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing, but this is the way the team looks right now. Derek Davidson, haven't decided if I want to play him at free or strong safety yet. Russ Clemons probably will start. Dorian Thompkins, I'm not sure if he's going to start at D-tackle or right end right away. We can kind of do whatever we want with him. Got great speed and strength. He's got spin move, bull rush, high motor. Dorian Thompkins looks really good. I know normal dev. I get that. Deshaun Hand had normal dev. Like, you can get up to star. It's very doable. It's very doable. But Dorian Thompkins, I mean, he really does look special. Russ Clemons is interesting too. This has potential to be a really good team. I think we made a lot of big-time upgrades on defense. And at every level too. D-line, linebacker, secondary. And then offensively, Rashad Reese having normal dev, again, kind of sucks. It is possible to get that upgraded. So that might end up happening. And then what do we do at quarterback? What do we do at quarterback? Alex Soto is an 80 overall with an unknown development trait. Paul Garrison is -5 overall, also with an unknown development trait, but is younger and significantly faster. +13 speed, way better agility, acceleration. His change of directions, 87. How much better is he than Alex Soto? At least as a runner, a lot. Again, numbers, faces, things are going to be subject to change. But that's going to do it for the offseason, guys. I think I'm going to have a preseason episode as the next one. We're going to see if any players stand out. But that's going to do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I put a lot of effort into this video, as you guys know. So I'm super excited that you guys all enjoyed it, all seem to enjoy it. I know probably some people disagree with my picks or what I did in free agency or those things. It's apt to happen. I'm the GM. You're just along for the ride. So appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.
I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah. Promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. Papa turn, taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speed burst good.